YouTube, Lenny Sly, Road Warrior Training Compound here in Schaumburg, Illinois. Okay, this is the third video of the PPF Shihonage, the combative concepts version of it. First off, I just want to bring up a couple things. The guys that are voting for the next video, some of you guys were inboxing me on Facebook and you were making your request on Facebook, and you know, that's all swell and fine. But the specific instructions were to leave your request and your name in the comment section of the video. For me, it's better for me to go back to that video and look at everybody's requests, write them down, write their name down. If I gotta start going to my inbox on Facebook or the Combative Concepts Facebook page, I'm not even gonna consider your request, okay? That is what the rules of engagement were for this, were to comment on the bottom of the video with your request and your name, okay? It had about 25 people do this. You know, there's a lot of really good requests for the next video. It's just, unfortunately, I'm not gonna be going back and forth. That's why it all needs to stay in the video so I can quick reference that and I can decide what the next video is. And just so you guys know, I have a really good idea what the next video is. It's kind of one of those sleeper techniques with Aikido, especially the tension and the combative concepts version of it. I think it's one of those techniques that's kind of like a really best kept secret, because it's very practical in the real world. Very practical. It's not so much flashy or dynamic, but it's extremely practical, and that's in my opinion. Pretty much that's about it for that. The people that did take the time out to vote for Sarah in Ryan's video, for the last video that I put up with that contest, thank you so much for helping out. I really appreciate it. They really appreciate it. I have no idea whether or not if they won. If they did, I'm sure Sarah would have been blowing up my phone going, oh my God, thank you so much. I have no idea what the results were or if the results are even in yet. So I'll keep you posted on that. So sit back, relax. I'll be back in 1 second. Aikido past, present, and future, the combative concepts version of Shihonage. I'll be right back. Here to help me demonstrate some Shihonage techniques, some combative concepts version of this. We also have Chris Looper on standby off in the corner over there. So I'm going to probably be going through, doing some demonstration with Chris, and then doing some demonstration with Frank, so on and so forth. But right now I'm going to use Frank on the first technique. Okay, one of the techniques that we showed you in the traditional side was a wrist grab. So we're going to show that again. This is a very unique technique. So as he goes to grab you, okay, traditional side, you obviously do this kokyu, you grab the wrist, you go underneath, you apply the technique. Okay, who's to say that when this person comes to grab you that they don't let go of you when you go to grab them? Or who's to say that as they grab you, you go to do this by grabbing them and they punch you in the face, boom, straight jab. That's not ever done in Aikido. Okay, you rarely see that. So as this happens, you grab right away, you keep your distance, you stomp on his knee, which basically pushes him back. As you come through with this, similar to the traditional side of this, you walk underneath, you apply your Shihonage. Then from there, the throw happens, okay? What we're gonna do with the throw is a little bit different. So as he grabs, kick, you move through underneath. As you're applying the Shihonage, you let go with the right hand. You still keep this bent. This hand comes up and over his neck, and you koshi him. Then from there you stretch out his arm, snap his elbow, stomp straight down to his face, and you walk off. Okay? So one more time again. So as he grabs, boom, kick to the leg, come underneath, apply this, grab his head, throw, apply, break the elbow, stomp on his face. Okay? So as he grabs you, remember, you have to be able to grab him and kick at the same time. That's going to stop his forward movement on you. If you grab and you wait, here comes the punch. If you grab and you're not quick enough with the stomp, he still gets the punch off. So as the grab happens, you have to stomp him to get him to stop. Then from there, you move across his body to where that threat is no longer a threat. Because then from there, you can do all kinds of stuff. You can do ude kiminage, you can do whatever. Hijinage throw, get into this lock, break his arm, choke, whatever. But from here, you're going to move through, apply the Shihonage. Now remember, typically you would never let go with this hand. But now you have to let go. You let go and this comes right around his neck right away. This can actually move into this position here to where you actually choke him. You okay? If you see this, my shoulder's underneath his chin somewhat. So as I apply this, I can actually apply the choke, move in and take out his knee. And take him straight down to the ground, or I can sweep him down. At this point, bring him into this position, start pounding on his ribs, elbow his face, strike his groin. So you have different options here that you can do. So one more time. So from here, kick right away, move through, apply the Shihonage, let go with your right hand, grab, throw, snap his elbow. If you needed to, you could reverse your grip, slingshot him over to the position where you have him completely subdued. From a law enforcement standpoint, there's a video that I want to do on handcuffing. Most cops will push their subject's hand, whatever, on their back and they're trying to handcuff them. As you put your knee in the center of the back, you can lift their arm up, pull your handcuff out, and you have space here to get the cuff around them. If they don't want to comply by giving your other hand, you just keep pulling this back until they bring the other hand behind their back. So those are just some things that you can do with that part of that technique. Another technique that we do is from a strike, you're hitting him in the ribs. You're blocking this. Now granted, some of you guys out there might go, that's not a real hook punch, or someone's not going to strike like that. We have to think in a sense that these techniques are not for fighting an MMA guy or a boxer or any of that. Keep that in mind. So when the strike comes, this is pretty realistic in a sense for the way how it's coming right to my head. You might see people do this to protect themselves. What we're going to do is we're going to move in and strike the body. From here, this is where it gets really fucking dangerous. You come up underneath at that point. So this strike happens, come up underneath. So you can almost lock this up this way. This might stop him from hitting you, especially if you dig the shoulder up into his face in a way to where he can't hit you. This technique would work very easily to where then you can move through from here, switch your grip, kick him in the face, move into a come along, and then switch this back into a throw. Then you have this same platform for pinning. Boom. You can break that, stomp to the face, strike this, or you can spin around him at this point, come across his body as you're kneeling in his gut. Basically get to the point where you break his elbow this way and then hammer fist him right on the temple and walk off. So you have some different variations with that as well. So back to the original one. From here, strike to the ribs, come up and over. Interlock your thumb between your index finger and your ring finger, and you apply this. From here, you can throw. Once again, you have the same pinning option if you want, okay? Or you can switch the pinning option to here. Punch him right in the sternum, punch him in the face. If you apply this correctly, the natural reaction is the hips will pop up and the head might pop up. So as you apply this, boom, you strike him at the same time. Then if you want to go into more of a traditional tension traditional Aikido pin or traditional Aikido pin, you basically apply the Ikkyo lock. Roll them over at the point to where you have that pin, or you can lock him up this way. Then from there you can cause some nice agonizing pain by lifting his chin up at that point, snapping his neck if you had to. Okay? So one more time with that. So this strike option here, come through, roll, pin this way, pin this way, pin this way, slingshot over, lock him up this way, grab his head, strike his throat, kick the back of his head. Okay? So there's a couple right there for you on that. From this punch to the face, from here, you can move through from the Suyage action, punch his body, come through underneath. Now you're applying somewhat of a Nikyo lock. Now you kick to his face, roll this through. As you roll this through, you can have his arm extended. Go right over your shoulder, where you can break this, and then transition over into that Shihonage throw. Then from there, you can just push right over at that point. And then apply a lock on his elbow, or roll him into this position, stomp on his head. So you have several different variations of that. Let's use Chris now. So, same attack, strike, same application of this. Now you can move into this to where you have this hip toss. Okay, so now you go right into the hip toss, similar to the first technique. Same elbow lock, strike, whatever. Okay, this is a little bit different application. So, as he punches, you're striking, going right into the Shihonage variation. Now you have to remember, he can hit you with that other hand, so you have to move quick at this point to throw. Also, you can apply this here and lock him out, step on his hand, stomp on his face so he can't escape. So you have a couple different variations with this. Another wrist grab. From this wrist grab, you can headbutt him. Okay? From here, strike him with the headbutt, move over underneath, then you have that throw, then you can move right into here. Now you have this lock. You can apply that, snap his elbow, strike, and move. Switch the stick now. Frank. The stick application, if you want to apply this, so it's from a straight punch, strike to the ribs, then this comes up and over and applies this. Now this application, once you have this on the lower back, as you strike the ribs, this goes to the lower back, this comes up and over inside the inside of the bicep, and you push through, get him to fall. From there, you have options. Strike the leg, strike the inside of the leg, strike the ribs, strike the head. You can also strike the ribs, turn this over, apply this where you're kneeling on the stick, switch your hands out, and then the stick is right above his elbow on the tricep, and apply that lock. Once you have that lock, that incorporates a lot of pain. Plus I have him pinned at that point. So now you're in that Suarawaza position. Boom, you apply, come back up, boom, right on the ribs. Multiple choice options there at this point. So again, strike, strike the ribs, come right over, I have his head locked up, switch, lock that, boom, and you hit. Next one, moving through from here, you can lock this up at this point to where you can go right into the choke. From here, you can choke this and leave him at that point. Move on to the next thing, whatever you want. Let me use Chris for this technique. So as Chris comes in, he throws that punch, boom, you hit the ribs, you come up, there's the Shihonage. As you move, he slips out. Go right for the choke, kick the back of his leg, lift him up, strike his head, strike his head, strike his head. Okay? These tend to get a little bit brutal. So one more. So boom, strike, you have that right in the choke. Kick him out, fly, strike to the groin, strike to the head. So, that being said, we showed several hand variations of the technique of our version or our take on Shihonage. And some weapon techniques with that as well. Now granted, you gotta remember, this is a Shihonage, this is an Aikido tool. You're not gonna be using a 3-foot stick on the street unless you use it for a walking cane. Then it's, I would say it's completely legal to use that as a weapon of self-defense. Most people aren't gonna be walking around carrying a hanball, which that's what this is called, or a stick or whatever. So you have to use what's around you. You know, if you're in a situation where there's a piece of pipe laying down on the ground, you probably can get away with using a baseball bat doing this. You know, pool cue, whatever. You know, there's a lot of things that you could use for your defense on these particular techniques. Okay, so that was a nice little taste of the combative concepts version of Shihonage. Gotta say, it's pretty fucking hot in here for being mid-February. So that's it. Thanks to Chris Looper. By the way, today's Chris's birthday. Turns 29 years old. Frank Kiparato, both of my senior students. Like, subscribe, share the videos. Make your comments on the bottom. This is the last of the Shihonage PPF videos. The next one, we're gonna start filming probably in the beginning of next week. And that one's gonna be fucking really good. I think you guys are really gonna like that. That's gonna have some really cool variations, especially the combative concept side. It's gonna look pretty badass. So that's it for us here at the Road Warrior Training Compound here in Chambly, Illinois. I'm Lenny Sly. Thanks for watching.